Pop the Red Bull, we're moving. Hi, my name is Kasie Gray. I am a realtor, a mother, and I just recently moved, and I wanted to share with you some of my favorite tips and tricks on making the move as seamless as possible. It can be very overwhelming with kids, with animals, with timelines, and all of the things. So here's just a quick rundown of ways that I packed up our whole house in 2 days and moved in a day. Number one, if you know you're about to move, start decluttering. It's a lot easier to do that beforehand, so you don't have to worry about every single thing that you pick up. Is this gonna make the move or not? If that's already done beforehand, then you can just worry about packing and not worrying about donating or throwing it in the trash or wherever you're going to get rid of your items at. So step one is to declutter before planning the move as much as you can. It is going to make it much smoother. The best way that I found for decluttering is to have a pile of keep, toss, or donate, and that helps you kind of move the process along. It can go in the donate bucket, it can go in the toss bucket, and you just cut your losses. Moving is, the perfect way to declutter and get rid of things that you either need to sell or toss. After that, I like to go room by room. So pick out the room that matters the least to you, whether it's, playroom, your dining room, your bathroom, things like that you don't need on a day-to-day basis, but can go in a box for a couple days until you move. I feel like everyone has their own personal opinion, but I feel like it's easier to pack right before you're about to move than to pack like a month before you're about to move, because if it's going to be in a box for 30 days, it's a lot harder to put something in a box. But if it's going to be in a box for 2 days, then put it in the box. So I feel like it's a little bit easier to just kind of rush through it. Obviously that's time dependent. It depends on your motivation skills, your organization skills, all of those things is important to keep in mind. But for me, it's easier to just throw stuff in a box, make sure you can carry the box and be able to get it out of the house. It's a little different if you're staging your house and need to get some things out. Obviously, those are going to be your less needed items, and you're going to do that much before even listing your house and much before you're about to move. So it depends on what stage of life you're in and what your process is. But for me, it's a lot easier to just know that in 3 days it'll be out of the box, and if I need it before then, probably it's something that I can buy. Packing supplies. So when I was little, we moved a lot, and we never bought boxes. And so this time I was like, I'm not gonna buy boxes. Why would I buy boxes? I can find them, but it was raining and it was hard to find boxes, and I just ended up going to Home Depot and buying some. They weren't as expensive as maybe I was thinking they were. They were not too high in price, and you definitely don't want a ton of large boxes. Medium or small is important to make sure that they can be lifted, to make sure that they can be carried and not broken. You're gonna wanna get a good hefty tape gun, and you're going to, people like labels. I don't see what the difference is. Just get a Sharpie and write it on the box. I don't know that a label's much faster. Color coding, like even if you have movers, they can know which room is which. You just have to put, what's in there, and you can keep track of it. It depends on, if you're moving across the country or down the street, how it's going to affect, how you label things and how you pack things. I think as much as you can, use the towels and the bath towels as much as you can to cover your dishes, your plates, all those things, your kitchen towels. That will cut down on packing supplies, like having less bubble wrap needed or tissue paper or whatever it is. Being able to use those towels and things is a great space saving and double packing. It kind of lightens the load of the box and protects your glassware. I don't even know what number. Make sure to pack an essentials box. So whether this is in a suitcase or in a box, it's important that you have something that has a couple rolls of toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, your couple nights worth of clothes, socks, all those things, so that you can easily access that box if you need. And that could be the first thing that you open as soon as you get into the house. And so that can have your chargers, your food, whatever you need. But I like doing suitcases because then you can easily access it if you need to before, or throw some last minute stuff in there after you've moved everything else out. On the topic of suitcases, we packed all my daughter's books in suitcases. It definitely took like 3 or 4, but it made it a little bit easier to carry than a big heavy box. And suitcases are very sturdy, so packing the little kids' books, which there's so many of them if you have little kids, you know, but packing those in suitcases was so helpful. And then for kids' clothes and for adult clothes, packing the clothes in a trash bag and being able to tie it up and then labeling it so you can do, you know, daughter one's room, and that will help too when you move in. You can know which things you can unpack. So like for me, I labeled them dresses, t-shirts, sweaters, and so then that way I knew like maybe I didn't need to hang up my dresses right away, but I could hang up my t-shirts and my sweaters so I can have access to them. So that's another huge one. And then to cut down on moving costs as well, the Ukiah bags, the large Ross bags, whatever type of large bags you have that are sturdy is so helpful for things like toys or shoes, things that, you know, is going to take a lot of boxes to fill, but is not very heavy. So you can carry like I was carrying like 4 or 5 Ukiah bags at a time, bringing them in because it just had, you know, toys and easy things that could go in the bag, weren't breakable. If something fell out, wasn't the end of the world. It was his shoes, whatever it was, and that definitely helped on the amount of boxes that we needed. If you are planning to hire movers, this is very important that you vet them, talk to a past client, make sure that they, you know, check every avenue of websites, Better Business Bureau, all the things, look up the owner's name, the company name, all of the things, because I have heard so many horror stories from past clients about being held up with their stuff in trucks and the movers asking for more money, or movers that were just slow and not getting the job done as quick as they could because they were getting paid by the hour. So it is very important that if you are hiring movers, that you vet them very, very well. And if you're not hiring movers, getting a U-Haul truck, so it's just one big easy swoop, is always recommended, just depending on how much stuff you have, I guess, but it makes it a lot easier than having to do trips. And if you can have a large group of people helping you unload and load, it makes for light work. And don't forget to turn on your utilities before you make the move. It is important that you have electricity and water, so make sure you know what those companies are. And if you're moving on Friday at 4 o'clock, it's important you get those set up beforehand so you're not without power and water for the weekend. So if you can follow any of these tips, it might help your moving process a little bit more. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to help you with your next move. Woo! Oh my God.